Patriots fans, I have a challenge for you. Let's go on ahead and get 1% better every day. The most likes last week on a video on Patriots Today by Chat Sports had 541. Congratulations, very nice. Let's see if we can top it. This week, I want to get more than 541 likes. I know you guys are really intrigued to see what happens this offseason with the New England Patriots. So if you want more content from us, everything completely free, go on ahead, like this video, like every other video that comes out this week. Let's just try to reach over 541. All right, let's jump into our show today on Patriots Today. I am a host, Allie Barefoot, and this is Mike Reiss. And here's what he had to say about the Patriots actually cutting a player very recently. They did inform quarterback Nathan Rourke that he is being waived. Per sources, this sends the QB room to 4. Jacoby Brissett, Drake Maye, Bailey Zappe, and Joe Milton, which, of course, 2 of those were just drafted in the 2024 NFL Draft. But I really want to focus on Bailey Zappe here because I think his future is a little bit unwavering moving forward with the Patriots because they did just pick up the highly acquired Drake Maye. And towards the end of the NFL Draft, they picked up Joe Milton III. So once again, in this quarterback depth chart, Nathan Rourke has been waived. But now you really have to look at Bailey Zappe because obviously they want to see what Joe Milton is going to do, or else they would not have given up a draft pick to get this very strong-armed offensive player. So with that being said, now having moved to 4 on the depth chart, I really just don't know if Bailey Zappe is going to be the answer for the New England Patriots moving forward. I think that quarterback competition really comes in there with Jacoby Brissett and Drake Maye, and personally, I just think Bailey Zappe should be cut or traded. Why? Because he showed a little bit here in his rookie season that maybe he could lead the Patriots to a winning season, but then last year, that just fell apart. I don't know what happened, but Bailey Zappe was not the answer, especially going back and forth here with Mac Jones. So I think that he not only had 1 season, but 2 seasons under his belt to really show the Patriots what he can do, and still not providing a winning season. Let me know everything I needed to know. Ian Rappaport also did tweet out that with 5 QBs on this roster, it's a pretty crowded room. For one of last year's starters, Bailey Zappe, safe to say he's likely available in a trade if it makes sense. We're going to break down what Bailey Zappe could maybe be willing to be accepting for a trade, but overall, let's break down what he did in the last 2 seasons in New England. So, of course, he only played 4 games in his rookie season, and those numbers were actually leading me towards, hey, maybe this kid in the next couple of years could actually be a very promising quarterback. He had the exact same amount of touchdowns his rookie year as he did last year when he played 10 games. He only threw 3 interceptions and with a 70% completion rate. I was like, all right, maybe Bailey Zappe can have something up his sleeve, but then it just decreased in last year's season. He played 10 games, of course, starting over Mac Jones for some of those because they did not find an answer in Mac Jones either. 9 interceptions, only throwing the same touchdown passes that he did in his rookie season with significantly less games. It was pretty simple that Bailey Zappe was not going to get the job done here. So, should the Patriots move on from Bailey Zappe? They got Drake Maye with a number 3 pick, who I think has a huge promising future here in the NFL. Plus, just in case he doesn't, they also picked up Joe Milton from Tennessee to maybe be the answer if Drake Maye can't. And then, of course, you got Jacoby Brissett in there as well. So type Y for yes, type N for no if you think the New England Patriots should move on from Bailey Zappe. It's kind of unfortunate because while I do think they should move on from Zappe, I'm just not sure what you can get for him. There are always teams out there that can use a 3rd string, 4th string quarterback, maybe even a practice squad quarterback. You got to look at teams like the Kansas City Chiefs. He's never going to beat out Mahomes, maybe not even Carson Wentz, but providing that 3rd string, you can also look at the Las Vegas Raiders, who have Gardner Minshew. They've got Aiden O'Connor. So it makes you think that, okay, maybe Zappe could be somewhere as a 3rd string, but once again, I'm not sure what you can get in return. But with that being said, there were several other draft picks that Mayo in the front office did make this season. So we're going to be talking about Kaden Wallace possibly being a starting left tackle here for possibly providing the blind side for somebody like Drake Maye. Let's break down what Mike Reiss had to say on the other draft pick, Caedan Wallace, saying the Patriots are banking on Wallace being able to flip sides, adding a layer of risk to the pick because there's limited game tape showing him playing the position. He has, however, practiced there. We know Wallace started at right tackle for 5 seasons, And while he does have some practice there at that left tackle, obviously he's more comfortable towards that right side. Plus, with somebody like Wallace, he didn't really start to improve until his last season, so it does make me wonder, is there more room to grow, or was that his ceiling? We're going to have to wait and see what they can do at LT, but to mention they picked him up here towards the middle of the draft makes me think this has got to be his future here on the offensive line for the Patriots. I'm going to break that down a little bit more in just a few moments, but first, I got to let you know about our sponsor here on Patriots Today. Of course, we're talking about the #1 daily fantasy sports app in America, Prize Picks. I'm playing it, Smitty's playing it, heck, my 55-year-old dad's playing it. So if you guys want to join, all you have to do is go to prizepicks.com/CLNS. Use that promo code CLNS for a first-time deposit match up to $100, and you can win up to 100 times your money with as little as 4 correct picks. There are several categories you guys can choose from, and you can also mix and match. It doesn't all have to be one sport. You can mix and match MLB regular season, NBA playoffs, along with NHL postseason right now, if you guys want. But to me, you know I'm an NBA person. I am strictly focused on basketball right now. Of course, I got Brunson having more than 48 points, rebounds, and assists, and I got Anthony Edwards having more than 40.5 points, rebounds, and assists. These are not the only categories they have. They actually probably have numerous categories that might fit you and your skill set. So you guys can go ahead and test your skills right now in numerous categories. You can go ahead and mix Jalen Brunson, Anthony Edwards. You can put the Joker in there as well, along with several other NHL players. Just go to prizepicks.com/CLNS. Use that promo code CLNS for a first-time deposit match up to $100 and watch yourself win some real money in real time. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy. And I know it's not easy to make this bold assumption that Kaden Wallace may or may not be starting at the left tackle here for the New England Patriots. But when you look at what PFF did have him as in 2023, he played 670 snaps. He gave him an overall grade of 68.8. He only allowed 1 sack. And I know this is not at that left tackle position, but still, that's an amazing stat line, only to have 1 quarterback hit, 11 hurries, and 6 penalties. Not to mention how Caden Wallace plays, he does not let up until he hears that whistle. The minute he has his man, his #1 role is to block, is to guard. And his specialty, of course, is in the run game. Here's my favorite stat of all. If you guys need a visual because you haven't seen Caden Wallace play just yet, I'm going to give you one going up against probably one of the better defensive ends in the NFL right now. We got Aiden Hutchinson and Jack Sawyer. So 31 pass blocking matchups against Aiden Hutchinson. 0 quarterback pressures allowed. 0 sacks allowed. This is a guy that is still getting sacks against veteran offensive linemen. And the fact that we have Caden Wallace now is going to possibly be protecting the quarterback's blind side, I think that's a good enough stat to at least give me some kind of leverage to make that assumption that this is the future that Wallace is supposed to have in New England. And let me tell you, he's going to surprise some people. I understand that it's completely different positions, even though it's kind of the same structure, though. But I do think what Wallace has, he plays with a mean streak. You don't have to worry about aggression. This guy's got a dog in him. Plus, they said that they saw plenty of reps at left tackle during practice, enough to be like, all right, you start training him, you start giving him the skills. You can't teach athletic. You can't teach aggression. So the fact that he's already got those 2 in his back pocket makes me believe that whatever quarterback is going to be in that pocket, he is going to protect him. He does have some limited lateral movements, but when you start to work on side to side towards the offseason, I do think that will start to come a little bit more naturally once he learns that position a little bit more. But I do think that overall, he's going to have a very successful career here, at least on the offensive line for the New England Patriots. Because when you look at this depth chart here, obviously they got Caden Wallace kind of starting right now in this depth chart at that left tackle, but you got Lowe also in there as well. You got Mike on the right side of this. So I do think there is some flexibility to be able to try out Caden Wallace at different positions. But if I'm taking him in the middle of the draft, I'm expecting to adhere to what I needed for the New England Patriots offensive line. That's left tackle. They need a left tackle, and I think if Wallace gets mainly his reps at that position throughout the entire offseason, the Patriots may have found their starting LT. With that being said, I know I made a bold assumption, but that's why we have Patriots Today by Chat Sports. I give an assumption, I give a take, I show you guys some stats to back it up, and then you guys talk. Will Caden Wallace start at left tackle? Type S for start. Type B for bench. You guys get to be Mayo. Let me know what you guys think down below. Speaking of Mayo, he's making a ton of changes here. This is no longer the Bill Belichick era. While it will be missed, there were several great things to come from that era. I'm really excited to see what Jerod Mayo is going to do, starting with the offseason. Mike Reiss, of all people, did say the new changes here that Mayo is implementing. Media members will get their first look at Maye and the Patriots rookie class on Saturday, May 11th, with head coach Jerod Mayo opening minicamp to reporters that day. This is a change from recent years, as Bill Belichick had kept the initial rookie minicamp closed to reporters. So that means we don't have to wait until training camp starts. They're now finally going to get an early look here at Drake Maye. You're going to be looking at Polk along with Baker. You're going to get to see how these rookies are now transitioning just very shortly after being drafted in 2024. And I'm super excited to see what the reporters have to say. They get to see Drake Maye firsthand and how he's adjusting to the New England Patriots offense, and I think Jerod Mayo is a good fit here in New England. So with that being said, we've got plenty of more updates coming for you on those rookies, what it's going to look like on the offensive line and the offensive schemes, and even on the defenses. A lot of these guys adjust. And if Bailey Zappe does happen to get cut or traded, you know we are going to have it right here on Patriots Today by Chat Sports. So if you want to be up to date, hit subscribe.